What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill. This is Matt, and this is Matt's Bronco here again at the shop garage. So today we're doing what should be a fairly quick video, and that is adding some rock lights. Now he's got a set of 8, so we're going to do 2 in each wheel well. Probably be like here and here, shining towards each other. Similar to how I had the ones in my wheel well. You can see I got one here, one there, and we want to try to hide them as good as possible. His sits up a little bit higher than mine, so it's a little easier to see. So we'll find somewhere where we can tuck them away, but we'll do 2 in each wheel well, run the wiring up to one of the upfitter switches. So first things first, we need to take the liners out, which it's just a Phillips head screw, and you have to very gently back those out because any pressure will just push them straight back in. So yeah, just back those out a little bit and they should pop out. Let me grab a screwdriver and show you. We'll start back here and work our way forward. Gently back the screw out, and the whole thing should pop off. Now there is just a bunch of those all the way along this front edge, and then some randomly out throughout. So we'll go ahead and take those off. We'll pull this one down, position our 2 lights in here, and run our wires forward where they will, then we'll work on adding them to here, and then going over to the other side. Of course, the first one I did for the camera came out perfectly. Now none of these other ones want to. So unfortunately, not all of these come out and back out nicely. Some, like this one, just turn no matter what. So if you can get the pry tool behind there and put a little pressure on it, maybe it'll listen to you and come out, or not. And it's just a thin piece of the sheet metal that bent in there that these go into, so they're very easy to bend as well. So you don't want to just like crank on this too hard, because then it will just bend that tab. I'll just go through and try to get this to behave and get these out. So I've gotten 3 out that behaved. Now the rest of them that are here are not behaving. So we'll work on getting those. Matt's working on getting the front ones out, and we'll catch up with you once we have these down. All right, so after fighting with a bunch of these, I think 3 of the total came out like they should. Matt had similar troubles with the front. One thing with the front, along this front edge here, it does have these metal clips over top the felt, and they actually go up above the tabs instead of sitting under, and then the screw goes through there. But yeah, this is what it looks like with the fender liner out, in case you were curious. There's our super huge turbos. Well, one of your super huge turbos. And yeah, so now let's get the lights out and figure out how we're going to run one side. Yours are, they're the RGB ones, so there's a module that we got to install somewhere also. So yeah, let's figure out where we're going to put the module that they all get wired into, and then we'll start running the lights on this side. All right, so this is already wired, came pre-wired, everything. It's got a little Bluetooth controller that works with the remote, and it's got a power, a ground, and then its own switch. We're going to ignore the switch, kind of just leave the switch always on, and run the power to the upfitter switch. Which leaves these 2 here for the front, and then these 2 will run to the back on each side. There are some extensions included, and hopefully that's enough. If not, we got some other wire. We can cut one of these and splice extra wire in if we need. But how these will get fished through is a good question. Apparently I'm not smart enough to figure out how to, can't tell if that part comes off with this clip or if that goes in. Oh, the big brains on that. So that part squeezes and comes out.
And squeeze, and it's gone forever.
All right, so I was along.
Oh, here.
That was it.
Up.
Now the issue we're going to run into with using these clips is that means we got to drill bigger holes to run the wires through. We only need a hole that big for the wire, but that's a lot bigger. That's why I didn't end up using the connectors on mine, just because I ended up cutting them and just running the wire. Plus I had about 10 times as much wire as this included with each one. That was way over long. But yeah, let's go take a look. So if we set this like here, we don't want to run the wire on the outside. We want to put it through and run the wire on the inside of there. So we need to drill a hole, push that through. I'm guessing we should probably go ahead and cut these and splice them on the backside, unless you want to put that big of a hole.
Slit. That'll just kind of.
Or we could do a slit. We could try Matt's way. Cut a slit in there and push that through, and then yeah, we'll try that. And then we'll put screws through to hold that in place. Do 2 on this, put that back in, and work on getting the wiring connected. A small change of plans. Instead of drilling a small hole for this wire or a slit to slide this through, Matt came up with the idea of, well, why don't we just cut a hole for the light itself? And then the whole thing won't be sticking down either, which is good. In his situation, like I was saying before, since Bronco sits so high, you could easily see the light sticking down. So now it's recessed and we just cut out a hole to match the bit of a lens that pops out. So it sits right in there, and put the bolt through there. So we'll do that. We'll do another one over on this side, do the same thing, and see how that goes. The front is going to be a little more difficult to, it's like this hard felt stuff. This plastic, we just kind of cut a smaller hole and then Dremel created a template using the existing light and then sanded the hole out. We're not really going to be able to do that with these, so we'll figure out that when we get to the front. But for the back, that worked out pretty good, I think, and sits in there nice and clean. You won't ever know that it's sitting there unless the lights are on.
No wires.
And no wires to be seen. All right, so now I'm a little sad because now I know I'm gonna have to undo mine and put my lights back behind like this is, because it just looks so much nicer and cleaner. I got these 2 on the passenger side. Matt's working on the driver's side. Got the other rear passenger side off. Yeah, the wires on the wires around the back will just tie together and run forward, and wrap them into this, which will be underneath, and make it happen. Yeah, here's what he's got going on the front. That's it. You know, if you didn't know that was there to look for it, you wouldn't even notice it. So I think it looks really good doing the stealth install instead of just plastering it on there. I didn't think mine looked bad. I mean, they don't look bad just sitting on there, but looks even that much better tucked behind. All right, so now this is just set in place. There's the 2 screws that go on these posts there that's holding it in place. And you can see we have our wires coming down, and we'll just run that back behind the body mount and then along this rail until we get closer to the front. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side and figure out where we can join all these harnesses together. All right, Matt has found his groove and is just going to town putting these lights into the fender liners. So while he's doing that, I'm getting the some of the wiring started. I went ahead and got the other fender liners out on this side, and with them out, it makes running this wire up into the engine bay super easy. So I said the power wire, we're going to connect to this violet and green wire, which is upfitter switch 3. So we'll connect that to power, and then we will connect ground, find a ground in here. Now that one's been used a couple of times, but yeah, we'll find a ground for that, and then we'll have power. We just need to then figure out how to get everything connected to that little octopus tentacle down there, and where we can put that, where everything else will be able to reach it. All right, so we got the back two lights connected. We've run the wires forward. These are connected. We have to connect everything up under here. It's the only way we can get everything connected without having to run too much extra wire. There was some extensions, but the extensions are not quite enough to get the back ones, so we had to make do. And since these are RGB, there's actually 4 little tiny wires inside these connectors, so extending these is a whole lot of fun. So it's taken us a while to get these 2 extended. We still need to do 2 more extensions for the back side on the driver's side, but you can see we got these just kind of sitting in there in the front. Those are working. I said, hey, change color with the remote. There's a phone app too. But yeah, we just need to run some more wire for back here, and then we can get everything buttoned up. Well, the other side we can start buttoning up, and this side we'll wait until we get the extra wire run. So now we got these 2 extensions that need to be made about as twice as long as they are. So we'll go continue making that, and we'll let you know how things go. All right, it's starting to sprinkle out here, but good timing. We got everything done, got the wires tucked under there. I gotta double check the ones under the hood, make sure those are zip tied out of the way of stuff. But yeah, go ahead, turn this off so you can see. And of course, now the garage light hasn't turned on all day, and now it's got to turn on. Yeah, they came out, I think they came out good putting them back behind the fender liner so you don't see a big thing sticking out. So those look really blue. It's a cool white, so it's kind of a little bluish, but in the GoPro it looks super blue. But yeah, that's white. It doesn't look like it on the GoPro. I think you got these from Amazon. If you find the link for it, we'll put it down in the description. Other than that, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Thanks again, Matt, for coming out and hanging out today. Be sure to check him out, TattooMatt71, or at TattooMatt71 on Instagram. And be sure to check out the last video that I uploaded, because I show off some of the work that he did on me. And yeah, thanks again for coming out. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you would like to see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.